Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the Little French Homestead. My name is Sherry if you are new here today. And today and through the month of January, it is Pantry Challenge time. So what we are going to do is use up all of our ingredients that we have preserved, canned, made, bought throughout the month of January. Nope, that didn't fit. And I had made up several months ago a mixture of cookie batter, muffin batter, and brownie batter. Now since then my brownie batter, is all gone, okay? This here is my muffin mix. Now, there is a lot here. I'm just giving it a quick little mix together. Now, we're not gonna be using all of this to make our muffins today, but I am gonna be using quite a bit of it. Now, this mix was made, like I said, a while ago. This is my cookie mix. I am making 2 sets of batters today. I'm gonna be making one for chocolate chips and one for blueberries. But I wanted to make sure I got this mix here really thoroughly well. What I do not use, I will go ahead and put back in there until another time frame, okay? My beautiful little kitty has found her way to my countertops. Now I've already cleaned and sanitized my countertops. I do that every time before I cook. But she just smelt something up here. I got blueberries in the sink, so I don't think it was the blueberries. Now this is 2 1/4 cups of dry mix. Now I will go ahead and leave the video that I made on this in the description box down below, or at the end I will go ahead and just post it. Okay. I'm just going to be making this simultaneously. I've already got my oven preheated to 350. I'm going to just set this aside over here for now. All right. So we've got one of these 3/4 cups of milk. Now I did have to run to the store to go ahead and get a little bit of some of these ingredients. I mean, even though it is a pantry challenge, you are allowed to make up your own rules, okay? So you don't have to not go the entire month. What the pantry challenge does is try to get you to use your ingredients that you have in the house already for like basic foods, your meats, your potatoes, your vegetables and stuff. And I had all that already, but unfortunately, I did not have any eggs and I didn't have any blueberries because my husband usually has blueberries for like breakfast. So I needed to make sure that I had blueberries for this meal. So you're gonna get 2 large eggs. So I quickly ran to the store this morning to go and grab the ingredients that I did not have. All right, now we're gonna do 4 tablespoons of melted butter. So I did go ahead and leave this out. Let me grab this knife. And then after this, we'll be doing the cookies. And with the cookies, you can go ahead and do like cook and bake the cookies, and then you can actually freeze them too. So when you make up the batter, you most certainly can go ahead, mix it all up, put the cookies on the, I'm just gonna wipe this, I gotta clean this off anyway. You can certainly go ahead and put the cookies in the, in your cookie scoop, put them on a tray, freeze them, and then once they froze for about 24 hours, you can take them out and bag them in a garbage bag. Not a garbage bag, I'm sorry, in a gallon size bag. And then you can go ahead and put those in the freezer. And then whenever you want any type of hot, fresh cookies, you can go ahead and put them in the oven. And that's what I'm going to also be doing here. Now, when I told my kids that I was going to be making some muffins, and I said that they were blueberry and chocolate chip, one of the girls, her eyes widened. So she was all for it. All right, now I'm going to give this one a quick little mix. And I don't remember how many this makes, this batch. Because this is, I don't know if this is the first time. I think this is the first time or the second time that I made muffins. But I mean, I think you probably can make up to, I mean, if this is going to be 12 and 12, you could probably make close to about 72, maybe 96 of these. And then everything should be as planned. Now I'm just going to dump in a bunch. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing with the blueberries. I have, these are organic blueberries. And I did go down, like I said, and pick them up today. And I did give them all a very thorough wash. Here we go. All right. Now the oven's going to be set for, like I said, 350. These are going to bake for anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes because it really just depends on your particular oven. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and put these in. And I got just a regular size scoop. If you guys remember on one of the last videos, my scoop broke. And that was the smaller one, so that one wasn't too big of a deal. Now I am not filling this all the way up. I'm only going about halfway. I just want to be real careful to make sure that the batter doesn't fall all around out the sides. I've done that before, and it's really fun trying to clean up your oven when you are all done. So let me go ahead and get all these in. And when they are ready, I will bring you back. All right, so while our muffins are baking, I'm going to be making then the chocolate chip cookies. Now, I've been already shaking this, good deal. This is the cookie premix batter. So we are needing 2 3/4 cups of dry mix. Yep. That is 1. Well, that's 2, I mean. And then this is 3/4. We are now going to go ahead and add our chocolate chips. And there's also 3/4. Well, actually, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't want to add these quite yet. I want to get everything, all the dry stuff first. Actually, I'm just gonna finish that off in. We've got 2 eggs that we need to add. Now, obviously, if you have chickens, you'd probably want to use those fresh eggs that you got. I do have chickens, but unfortunately, it is much cooler down here right now than it normally is. And out of the last month, we've got 2 eggs. So that's what's happening that. And then now we're gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla. And I did do my own vanilla. That is perfect. I'll just set that there, and I have all my other stuff here. We're just gonna go ahead and mix this thoroughly. And then we're just going to use the same scoop that we used for the muffins to scoop this up. We got a nice good batter going along. Now these are perfectly handy. I do have a daughter who loves to bake. So usually, like if she wants to go ahead and bake stuff, we usually allow her to go ahead and bake something on her own. And that's why the brownie mix is all gone, because she would do the brownie mix. And she's like, oh, I prefer brownies right now instead of chocolate chip cookies, because the brownie mix was a little bit easier, so I totally understand that. I'm just gonna slide all this stuff over here in the sink. And just give this a good clean on this and one more mixing thoroughly. Now I'm gonna link this down below. I found this is an awesome tool. It is made for bread, but you can use it for mixing things. Just want to thoroughly get all this combined before I go ahead and start this. Now this is really just like the basic batter for your starter stuff. So for your, chocolate chip cookies, it's your flour, your salt, your baking soda, and stuff all together, your sugar, and then it's just done in big batches. So then that way you can just put it aside and then just add the wet ingredients whenever you need to. I'm gonna pick that up, put that in there. Like I said, I'll clean myself. I gotta wash this apron anyway. I've got my cookie sheets right here on the side. And I will pick that up in a second. I will get a different cookie parchment paper for that one. All right, now we're just gonna take the scoop. Now if you wanted to do aluminum foil, you can. I would just be on the air of caution on that, just because you don't want the cookies to stick. Now these are gonna be nice big size cookies, so I'm gonna make sure that we have plenty of room. So I'm only gonna do 6 for this one and 6 for the next one. I remember when my mom used to make cookies for our convenience store in Antrim. She used to go ahead and get all the batter all ready. And we had 2 ovens up there because we lived on the 3rd floor. And she would be making cookies and you could literally smell them down the street, people would seriously be lining up for my mom's homemade chocolate chip cookies. They weren't round as a normal batter. They were square. So she would have, this was back in the middle 80s. So the squares would be like this big. She'd sell them for like 35, 40 cents, 50 cents. And there's times when she'd bring some down and my dad would call her up and say, okay, you need to make another batch. So she'd have to go make another batch of cookies. All right, we're gonna have to, I guess we got a baker's dozen going here. That looks great. We're just gonna, we'll throw that one right there, and that won't be a cookie. All right, so let's go ahead and take these out. See what we got going over here. Ooh, these look wonderful. Now, I can't really see because my glass is fogged up, but look at that. That is beautiful. I am going to make sure that they are done, but I really believe so. Oh, yep. And look at that ones. So these are perfect. Let me go ahead and just get a toothpick. That's how you can easily go ahead and make sure that all of your bakings are good. You just get a toothpick. If it comes out clear, you're all set. Look at that. Besides having blueberry juice on it, that's all good. Let me just get the other one. Perfect. All right, so while these sit, we're gonna go ahead now and put then the chocolate chip cookies in. All right, so the cookies did still come out flat, but that is totally okay. I know that they'll still be delicious. All right, so temporarily, we're just gonna turn off the oven. Right now, we're gonna just focus our attention on making some oats, the overnight oats. My husband is a big fan, haven't made it in a little bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and get going on that. I'm gonna gather up the ingredients real quick. All right, so we now have everything we need. About 2 tablespoons. I'm just gonna grab a spoon. Now I've made this more than enough times. I'm just gonna go ahead and add usually what I feel is necessary. Now what I am using also too is the, what's it called again? Honey, whole milk honey yogurt. We get this big container from Sam's Club. And my husband usually eats off of this, so I know that he likes it. Chia seeds add a nice little extra boost for your immunity. And it is about 1/2 cup of milk. Oh, in a second or two, I'm going to show you the muffins. They came out beautifully on my little table. And cinnamon is just a 1/4 teaspoon. Now I'm just going to give this a quick little mix up. And then I gotta get the pumpkin, and then we're gonna add that in here as well. I'm just gonna use the whole can, and I'll modify it with the with the oats. Oh, gotta plug in my handy dandy can opener. And he's a big fan of pumpkin, so that's why I don't mind putting the whole thing in here. If you really wanted to, you did not have to do this. All right, got everything here. Gonna mix it all up one more time. Then I got my funnel, and that's gonna be for easy setting down in here so it doesn't make a mess everywhere else. See how easy now that just folds in? That's why sometimes on some recipes, not all, but some, I prefer to have eggs scrambled already together. That way it's a little bit easier when you go ahead and put everything together. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and just add the mixture in here. And I like to give it at least a half, because I would also then like the rolled oats to be about half in here as well. And then this usually does make your 4 pint jars. And I'm gonna go ahead and just add the nuts at the top. All right, see that? Now we have a little extra, or we don't have enough. So here, I'm just gonna pour a little bit in here. Okay. And then let me get my, no, I don't want to use that one. Let me get another one. I was looking to make 4, but if I could only make 3, that's okay. Do a little bit more in that one, and a little bit more in this one. That's perfect. I usually like to do 4, so he usually works overnights. So then that way he can go ahead and have one for every night, or every morning he comes home. But that is totally okay, and I was able to only do that. Let me go ahead and, I know I said I'm gonna wash my thing, but whew, I am making a little bit of a mess here. All right, so now we're gonna grab the oats. And again, I wanna make sure that I don't spill everywhere. And then you're just gonna wanna go ahead and give this a good little mix right inside. And the reason why I don't mix everything all together in the bowl, just in case, like this, I don't have enough. I didn't add too many oats until everything was all mixed together. All right, that's a little too big on that one. And don't worry, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up. We just wanna make sure that we have enough room in here to still add the nuts. And if it's not, because it should be a little watery, not watery, but like milky. So if you need to, go ahead and add just a little bit more milk, because you want to make sure that, especially when it's the overnight oats, that it has plenty of liquid in here to go ahead and, you know, make those oats expand for yourself. All right. And now that that is all mixed in together thoroughly, I will just add just a little bit more milk to top it off. And then I'm going to add those nuts. There we go. And that looks good. Now, I'm not a huge fan of pumpkin. I mean, I do like pumpkin pie and stuff, but after the pumpkin pie, I'm not really a huge fan of. So he has told me on numerous occasions that these are really, really good. I have done apple cinnamon for myself, and they are absolutely delicious. All right. Now I'm just going to give these a quick wipe, and then we should be good to go. So go ahead and put those lids on, and I'm just going to add the nuts right here. There we go. And then we're going to add, that was my wrong lid. There we go. All right. Now we got this one. This one's got a little bit more milk in it, but that's okay. And then you can use, you can stick this in the freezer, in the refrigerator. And this is actually good for like 3 or 4 days. I wouldn't go too much past your 4th day, but you could certainly have it on your 4th day. So that's why I say sometimes I make 4 of these, so then that one he can have 1 a day. All right. All right, there we go. Gonna set these all in the refrigerator. I'm gonna wait for the cookies to cool a little bit more. No, they're all right. Here, let me go ahead and grab one. All right, so look at that. Got a really nice pull. Despite being a little flat, they're delicious. I think I'm going to sit down with a nice cup of milk and enjoy a couple of cookies. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here today. If you like this video and you want to see more, go ahead and click the like, share, but most importantly, go ahead and subscribe. You want to click that notification bell just so you can make sure you get all of my updates as soon as those videos come out. And as always, keep on cooking. Bye.